Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. We're going to take a look at some more Clone Wars figures today, and the next two that I want to give you a look at are the final figures from Wave 2 of 2011, and there are also a couple of figures that were sent out by a good friend of mine here on YouTube known as Nabil6901. So if you haven't subscribed to him, do so now. The first figure that I want to give you a look at is this guy. This is of course Anakin Skywalker, based on his Season 3 appearance. Obviously wearing the costume that is much more reminiscent of the one he's wearing in Revenge of the Sith. A very cool figure. Not the best Anakin that's been released so far, but certainly not the worst. And I have no doubt at all that Hasbro will probably milk this sculpt for what it's worth, and we'll see multiple releases of this one later on down the line. So before we get into the figure, let's take a look at the packaging that it comes in. It is once again Shadow of the Dark Side packaging with the blue and black colour scheme. These were sent over from the United States, so they do have the Clone Wars Adventure code inside, which I'll share with you later on in the video. You've got a very cool image of Anakin on the top of the card, and on the back you've got a still image from the Clone Wars Season 3. You've also got an image of the figure and the accessory that it comes with, which once again I'll talk about later on in the video. Character description underneath, and the rest of the wave pictured along the bottom. I've reviewed Commander Wolf, I've reviewed El-Les, and I've reviewed the Aqua Droid. Ahsoka will be coming next, so stay tuned for that one. So there is Anakin's packaging, and like with most 2010 and 2011 Star Wars Clone Wars products, it does indeed come with a battle game card with a cool image on the top, the display stand of course as well that the card can slot into. And as I said, with it being a US import, it does indeed come with a Clone Wars Adventures online code, which I will share with you if you want to pause the video and grab that code, and you can get yourself 30 days worth of free membership to the Clone Wars Adventures online game. So there we go, that's the code. Now onto the figure. There are a number of aspects that I do like about this one. As I said, it's not the best Anakin Skywalker figure that's been released, but it's by no means the worst either. The only thing I don't really like about it is the lack of articulation, which I will elaborate on in a moment. But other than that, the overall sculpt is really nice. The outfit is incredibly accurate, and as I said, it's very reminiscent of the one that he wears in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So, very, very nice. Obviously he's got a new haircut as well. And the scar, once again, also clear on the side of his face. And he does indeed come with his signature lightsaber, with a very nice vibrant blue blade. Not entirely sure why, but there's a little stub on the hilt of the lightsaber, but there's no hole on the belt, and the blade can't be detached, so that's really kind of a pointless feature, but you know, I'm not going to complain about that too much. As you can see, he does have a pre-posed hand, which is sort of in a force push motion. That way you can see that. There's no articulation in his wrist, so you've sort of got to put up with him in this pose, which is kind of a shame if you want to just have him just stood normally, but it's pretty cool and adds something a little bit different to the figure. As you can see, very nicely sculpted and very cool looking. And in terms of articulation, he has a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders and elbows, swivel forearms, no articulation in the wrist, swivel waist, swivel hips, ball hinged knees, and once again no articulation in the ankles, which is the biggest letdown about this figure in my opinion. But once again, I've said this before many times, this is one of those figures that definitely makes up for the lack of articulation in the overall sculpt. Now the additional accessory that comes included is a swap out hand for Anakin. We haven't actually seen this in the series yet, but I'm assuming that this is just something that they've done for playability features. But as you can see, on this arm, Anakin is wearing the glove very similar to the one he wears in Revenge of the Sith. You can actually remove that and in its place you can put the robotic arm that he has, which is very nice and very cool looking as well. As you can see, it's modelled off the one that appears in Revenge of the Sith when he wakes up in bed next to Padme, sort of puts his hand on his head after his bad dream. Some very nice gold detailing on that, which is really nice. And overall, very cool accessory. I actually prefer having this hand in place because he holds the lightsaber a lot tighter, and also none of the other Clone Wars Anakin figures has the robotic arm exposed. So once again, like with the Force Push hand, it just adds something a little bit different to this Anakin figure and really sets it aside from the others, which is really cool. So I'll just pose him for you now. And I hope you've enjoyed this review on Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars. Once again, this is from Wave 2 of 2011 and is of course based on Anakin's appearance in Season 3 of the Clone Wars. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this figure, and I'll be back with many more reviews very soon. Until next time, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.